So here we are today. We're here to talk about EVs and insurance. So the first question I think I'd like to ask to you, Brian, is what challenges have you identified? But not just the challenges, what solutions are you coming up with?
Yeah, I think the solutions are the important part, to be honest, Haydn. EV is a new technology. There's lots of complexity in these vehicles, although from an engine point of view, actually they're simpler, which is the interesting part. So the challenges, I think some of it's been about parts availability post-pandemic. I mean, clearly supply chains were badly disrupted, and from an insurer point of view, that did make things a little more challenging for us through the pandemic period. I think what we have done is work really collaboratively with manufacturers, with Thatcham, which is the research centre that the insurance industry uses. And we've worked closely to improve supply chain and parts availability. Actually, Tom and his team have played a part in that as well. So SYNETIQ have helped through the Green Parts initiatives that we've worked with these guys. And I think one of the other challenges has been around the skills gap that exists. As I said, technology has changed. That means that the people that are repairing cars in our repair centres, they need to have the skills to be able to work on electric vehicles. So we've worked quite closely with the industry to create things like apprenticeships, and we are financially supporting apprenticeships to make sure that we have the relevant skill set to fix our customers' cars when they need us most.
You know, you talked about the skill shortage. Where are you sort of seeing the shortage at its most critical as such? Is it within the body repair shops and getting people to be able to use these parts? And then and just not only that, how are you actively encouraging people to use the green parts as well?
Yeah, look, the skills shortage, I think, predominantly is in the body repair industry. The demographic in there is older as well, inevitably. So,
is there a resistance to want to work with the new technology?
No, I don't think there is. I think there's a desire to work with new technology. Mm-hmm. But I think maybe the route to delivering that is not always fully understood. So a big part, as I alluded to earlier, what we're doing is around apprenticeships, bringing younger people, hugely enthusiastic, lots of energy, into the industry and giving them the skills that is really needed to repair a vehicle today. Now, some of that is about the body repair skills, which the older demographic may well have in spades. But cars are so complex today. Essentially they are computers on wheels. Yeah. And it's the technology around fixing that element of it that can be very challenging. And then you overlay, as we've said, EV and battery.
But with that, it sort of does have an interesting point, because if you're talking about a new, young apprentice that's coming through, this is a time to introduce them to sort of green parts right from the start of their journey.
I agree.
Whereas, so are you trying to sort of, you're working together to get into the body shops to get this new breed?
We are, absolutely. And again, I think there's always more we can do. As I say, listening to Brian, I think about the exponents and the real vocal advocate in deeds as well as words for circularity and green parts specifically. Don't really look any further than LV. In terms of how they incentivise and remunerate body shops for their use. Yeah. How they've embraced the measurement of the CO2 savings that SYNETIQ are able to provide, not just sharing that back to the body repair networks, but potentially back to the policyholder. Yes. So this goes really right back to the source. So I'm really, really proud of the collaboration and the data and the measurement and the rigour that we've put behind the benefits. But to the point around the next generation, circularity, super, super important and topical and relevant. Climate anxiety is a real thing. Yep. This is not all of the answer, but reuse to reduce consumption has to be part of the answer. So I think whether you and I think this is the thing about sustainability more generally, Haydn, is there's something for everyone in this. If you want to be at the sharp end of the technology, there's an opportunity. Certainly in automotive. If you want to be in the repair network, if you want to be in the reuse, data, measurement, advice. There's something for everyone, and it's that cliche that every job these days is a sustainability job.
But but is there genuine excitement with this?
Huge.
Yeah,
huge. As I said to you right at the start, we're in a transformational era, given the extent of change that we're facing and the challenges, as you alluded to earlier. So, we're hugely excited by this. We're working so closely with SYNETIQ and other colleagues in the industry, and I think we have a chance to fundamentally make a difference.
And we say the word challenges. Sort of what challenges do you think you might be seeing in the future? There's going to be more cars on the road. There's going to be more volume and etc. And you're going to be prepared. But what do you think we need to be thinking about?
Yeah, I think obviously in terms of battery recycling, that we need to build the capability. It's not there completely yet today, but there are organisations that are looking at that. We're working with SYNETIQ. SYNETIQ are working with some partners where we believe there's some real opportunity for us. I think the UK specifically, we need to build that capability here in the UK. Because it doesn't exist today.
And how are you getting the balance right between, the introduction of more EV vehicles and the traditional vehicles that are on the road? Do you have to get that balance just right, or? Yeah,
there is. I mean, if you look at the underwriting footprint, it's about making sure that we do ensure that the pricing is right, that we're meeting our customers' needs around that, and from a claims point of view, we have the capability. Manufacturers are really innovative. There's lots of new types of vehicles with all sorts of, new equipment becoming available. We need to have the capability to be able to repair these vehicles, or if we get end of life, what with Tom and what with SYNETIQ, to make sure that we have a solution.
You're dead right, and we see this at ground level, so to speak, the actual vehicles themselves. So we've got a good reflection of the vehicle park. What can we see? We see our EV input volumes growing 50% year on year. So we've got to be absolutely equipped for today, but more than one eye, if you like, on the future, because the future is going to be electrified. To Brian's point, the skill is there. It's the capacity. We need to build reuse, repair and recycle capacity. We just have logistics, storage, qualified technicians, testers, those that can warranty, those that can certify. Because if we are going to create a battery economy, and I strongly believe we will, and it's the right thing to do economically and environmentally, you need actors in all those spaces.